Good Monday morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with the daily technical update. This video is for educational purposes only. There's no recommendation or advice whatsoever intended. It is only to demonstrate how I use the charts and technical analysis to try to read the market. And as usual, almost as usual, we'll start with Nasdaq 100 today. Seems a little bit trend exhaustion. We have divergence. You can see the RSI relative strength index is declining. The market has moved a little bit higher. Minor support here at 22,587. That is key. And then 22,388. That could be really crucial for a larger correction on the US Nasdaq. The CFD / the future, you can see it's setting back a little bit this morning, almost 0.5%. 22,582, but we have a stronger support here at 22,370. If it's taken out, well, then the strong support here at 21,946 and the 61.8 retracement will then be key, really key. We could see it set back to at that level unless it takes out the peak. Moving on to the S&P 500 index, we can see is also pushed higher here, but there's now a little slight divergence here. You can see RSI declining, so a little bit of support here, 6,200. That will be key on the Dow Jones index. It formed like a double top, and we can see it also a little bit like here, also very short term on the both the Dow Jones and the S&P 500, so that could be crucial here the next few days. Here Dow Jones 44,160, that will be key. And if we just quickly look at the US 500 CFD, here we have 6,200 break and close below that. Here's this the CFD, well, 6,143, but we could actually see it down to around 6,050. On the Asian market, and Seng this morning, slightly higher, crawling higher after it's bounced from the support here at 23,827, and I think it will continue to bounce in the next few days. But we need the RSI back above the 60 threshold. If it does close above that, then I think we'll see a test of 25,000. On the Nikkei is still in a correction mode and could drop to the 38.2 retracement and 39,180, possibly testing minor support here at 38,950. If it takes out that, well, then we could be looking at 38,138. In Europe and EUROStoxx50, where EUROStoxx got rejected there on the 10th of July, following through on the 11th on Friday, at the 5,467 and setting back. There's still positive sentiment on the RSI, but look at what's going on here. Pre-market is getting down about a 1%, indicated lower, and could drop lower. So that what we could see, let's just add a Fibonacci to that one and say, okay, what's going on here? So we're taking back about half of this uptrend here. I think we could see it down to 5,287, the 61.8 retracement. Then the 100 moving average will offer a little bit of support, but we are below the 55. So correction going on there. If it takes out that level and move down to 5,263, that would be key here the coming week. DAX also spiked higher here Friday, but it was where the sellers to control straight from the get-go and has followed through, and the indicator this morning another percent lower, and I think we can see it down to around 23,730 support area, where we have the 55 moving average coming up, giving some support, so I think we could see a bounce from there. Euro dollar testing the lower rising trend line, dancing around just below the 38.2 retracement of 116.83, and we could see it dipping down to 115.93, which is the 61.8 retracement, and then possibly a bounce. A little bit stretched here, so a little bit of dollar strengthening short term. It could also bounce here from the lower rising trend line, so keep an eye on that. If it does bounce from that and start moving above 117.50, then I think uptrend is to resume. Sterling dollar currently a few pips above the 786 retracement, 134.48. Could test that, and well, it will most likely test that. If it takes it out, well, then key support here at 133.55, that should be observed. RSI flirting with the 40 threshold, that would be key. Well, if it closes back below, well, then there's further downside potential. Moving on to Euro Sterling, currently testing the 86.70 resistance here. I think it will break higher, and I think we will see a push higher towards 87.5. These peaks here back from April. If it breaks back below 85.95, well, then we have a completely different situation. Dollar yen, well, taking a little breather today, but positive sentiment on the RSI and the 55 moving average turning around now, rising. 100 moving average is about to also turning around, could give potential up to 148.60, possibly higher up to the 200 moving average around 150 is in the cards. The euro yen, much higher Friday, now setting back a little bit. It seems like it is some euro weakness here. There's still potential a little bit higher to 173. However, we do have RSI divergence. You can see the RSI value slightly declining, so we are stretched there, or trend exhaustion to be observed. But let's see if it takes out the lows from Friday, and let's add this one there, 170.80. Well, then we could be in for a correction down to around 169, 168.5. On the Aussie yen, little bit setback this morning, but we are in a bullish trend, positive sentiment, no divergence, indicating that it's likely to test the resistance here at 97.30. Could push up to around 98 and the 161.8 projection of this correction here. So there's still a strong bullish trend. We have the 55 moving average also coming up here, giving some underlying bullish sentiment. Sterling yen, on the other hand, setting back here. We could see setting back to test the lower rising trend line, which we have seen so many times. It's trading in this rising trend channel here. Key support at 196.40, that should be observed. It's not the strongest one. It is 195.35. So I think a little bit of a setback, and then a bounce is could be seen. Aussie dollar, well, got rejected there at 65.90, setting back. So what I will do, unless it takes out the peak there from Friday, just peaked it just a little bit above, well, then there could be a push up to around 66.5. If it can't do that here within the next few days, then I think we'll see a setback. We can add the RSI retracement possibly down to the 61.8 retracement at 65.25. The dollar Canada still trying to get up to the 55 moving average. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that, and then a setback. If it takes out 136.35, then downtrend has resumed. On the sterling Canada dipped lower Friday, opened higher today, but now it's back down there again at the 786 retracement at 184.20. RSI at 40 threshold, testing that. If it breaks below both here, well, then it could slide lower to the lower part of the cloud and 183 level. So really crucial here the next today, next 24 hours, what will it do around the current levels. EURSwiss this morning has tested the support here just below 93, bouncing a little bit. Can it bounce? If it takes out the lows today, then expect to sell off down to around 92.5, 92.20. Dollar Swiss still trading sideways basically. I think if we see a little bit more dollar strength, we could see it up to test the lower falling trend line. We talked about it for many days, whether it will do that or not. If it takes out the lows at 78.70, then we could see a sell-off down to around 77.70. On the dollar index, The bouncy continuing a little bit to very close to the 61.8 retracement, 97.86. Could move all the way up to the 786 at 98.37. If it's lying back and taking out, and let's just do very quickly right there, 96.95, then downtrend is likely to resume. Moving on to metals and gold that bounced last week from the rising trend line, now flirting with the 61.8 retracement at 3,373. Key will be 3,400, and if RSI closes back above 60 threshold, then I think we'll see much higher levels on the gold spot here. Silver is really on fire at the moment, especially Friday. It seems to be following through here, and it is in decade highs at the moment. So let's just zoom out and see where we are actually flirting, what we are flirting with. We can see there's potential up to the 40s level, 43, 45. These peaks here back from 2011. Really strong move indeed on the silver. Of course, we can see some setbacks, but we are in a strong bullish trend, and it is also about to cancel its divergence here very close to at least, and I think it will do that. But for now, a little bit of setback, but a strong bullish trend. Platinum, well, still in this range here, needs to take out 1437 and 1322. Copper, well, dancing around the 550 level. If it takes out 542, then we can see it at 530, 531. But we are in a bullish trend. There's no divergence indicating likely higher levels. And if we look at the weekly, we can also see copper is really pushing higher here. Strong bullish trend, also medium term, but expect some volatility. So be careful if you're trading copper. Energy market and WTI crude oil, I still believe we could see it up to the 38.2 retracement at 69.50, but it's really struggling. It did close above the 200 moving actually, which is key with this strong move here on the 11th on Friday. And if it can get back up the wall, then there could actually also be further potential. The key will be RSI. Will it get back above 60 threshold or not? If it does close above 60 threshold, well, then there could be much more upside potential. Brent crude oil flirting with this 70 spot 41, and I think there is potential up to the 38.2 retracement 72.09. Where we have just below here, we have the 200 moving average giving it a hard time. So also here will be key. What will RSI do? Will be rejected at 60 threshold or not? European nat gas, and let's just resize it. Slowly crawling higher towards the 38.2 retracement at 36.38, but then we have the 100 moving average coming down there. So I think the upside here will be limited, but that will be key towards if it moves back above that cloud area also, then there could be further upside potential. However, we are still in a bearish sentiment or negative sentiment, so I think it will slide back. The US nat gas is bouncing. I think we'll see it up to at least the 38.2 retracement at 3.53, where we have the 55 moving average slightly rising, but the 100 coming down there. So I also think here we have upside potential could be fairly limited. US 10-year Treasury yields, let's get it up there. There we are. Range bound here 4.43 and 4.32. And now it seems to be knocking on that upper side there again. A close above and a close above for the RSI above 60 threshold could push it higher towards 450 level, possibly higher. That will be key here towards the next few days. On the European yields, we have the EU yield actually jumping on the opening this morning here. Just around the resistance here, around 270. If it does close above 271, 272, then there's further upside potential. And RSI is actually pointing in that direction with positive sentiment, no divergence, indicating likely high levels. We could see it up to the 280s. The UK 10-year slightly higher this morning. Interesting that doesn't move that much. So here it's also 468 that is key resistance, and close above that, well, then there's much more upside potential. On Bitcoin, new all-time high, once again above 120,000, almost reaching now the 200% of this correction here at 123,000. Is very strong bullish trend. I think we could see it possibly testing that, and then a little bit of a setback. We are very stretched on the RSI, but there's no divergence indicating likely higher levels on Bitcoin. The same picture on the Ethereum. Actually, I think we could see it up to around 3,200, just below the we have here 138.2 projection at 3,173 of this correction here. That's the potential we have at the moment. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day and talk to you later.